Hi and welcome to this video, which is about common mistakes that people make on the driving test. As ever, if you want to find out more about me and my driving school, you can visit my website firstdrive.com. There are loads of pages on there full of information about lessons, about tests, about how to choose a good instructor and how to avoid the bad ones, how to avoid scams. There are also dozens of videos on my YouTube channel. I've already done some of me doing full-length driving tests with pupils. I've done some full-length driving tests myself, full of hints and tips. This one today though is a little bit different, because what I'm going to look at is actual mistakes that people make on the driving test, not just about the test itself. So when I get going now, I'm going to drive a full-length test route from King's Heath in South Birmingham. Now, one of the most common mistakes people make before they even begin is a lot of people have this thing about trying to memorise test routes. You don't need to know the test routes. Each test centre has about 20 different routes, because there are roughly 4 or 5 examiners per test centre, and they all have about 4 or 5 routes. You should never be taught to memorise a route. Don't try and learn the routes. Yes, it's helpful if you know the area, but you don't have to know it at all. This route I'm doing now is a real test route, but I have deliberately changed a little bit of the route. There's 2 parts I've changed so that people don't try and memorise it. So when I get driving now, and like I say, it's a full-length driving test, I'll do the show me tell me. In fact, that is one of the most common mistakes. Again, people don't bother learning the show me tell me. So many pupils I have, they get ready for the test, and on the day of the test I'll say, have you learned the show me tell me? And they say, oh no. Yeah, you've got 50 minutes to your driving test and you don't even know the answers to these questions. So if you don't know, the show me tell me is when, show me tell me that is when the examiner will ask you 2 questions about the car. One is to tell them something about the car, one is to show them something about the car. So for example, they might say now, can you tell me how you check the handbrake for excessive wear and how you can tell if it's working properly? So the answer is, I would hold the brake pedal down, remove the handbrake. I know you can't see this that well, but just as an example, you would pull the handbrake up without pressing the button in, which is normally bad because normally that wears it down. But without the button, you should click 4 or 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is pretty stiff, and that means it's working okay. It doesn't travel too high. The next one, the examiner could say, can you show me how you'll check that the power steering is working? Massive mistake people make on this. They turn the car on sometimes when the examiner is not in the car. They will, or they could say to you, please don't turn the car on, unless I'm sitting in the car. But sometimes the examiner can be outside looking at the tyres, writing down the registration of the car, for example. The pupil turns the car on. If you turn the car on without the examiner in, you can technically be failed for driving illegally, because you're actually driving on your own, which is against the law until you've passed the test. But what you would do is, I'm just going to pop my belt on, to test the power steering, you would simply try and move it now, and it's not going to move very much. If I turn the engine on, check handbrake, neutral, wheel, car goes on, the wheel gets much lighter, so I can tell it's working there. So a big mistake people make is not bothering to learn the show me tell me questions and answers. Make sure you know them all. You don't fail for getting them wrong, but you do look a bit stupid, and if you haven't even bothered learning them, it doesn't give the examiner a good impression, does it? They think, oh, this person doesn't even care, they haven't even bothered learning the show me tell me. There is a way you can fail on this as well, which I have seen happen. If I just turn off again there, the one I mentioned just now with checking the handbrake, sometimes what people do is they'll take the handbrake off, but they haven't put the foot brake on. I might then roll forwards into this nice car in front of me, smash. Oh dear, especially if the examiner is standing right in front of the car. So you can fail and show me tell me against popular belief. It is possible. But yeah, so this video now, the rest of it's going to be all about common things that people mess up on the driving test. I will talk about the test itself. There are going to be some funny moments, but I'm just going to reset the camera. This camera inside the car can only record, the one that's facing me, can only record for 25 minutes at a time. So a couple of times during this video I might pull over and reset it. In case you wonder what I'm doing, it just takes about 10 seconds to lean over and reset. So I'll reset it and then we'll get going. Okay, so the camera's reset and I'm going to get moving. Another common mistake people make when it's a sunny day like this is they forget to bring one of the most important things you can ever have in your car, in my opinion, which is sunglasses. Unfortunately, my sunglasses actually broke a week before I made this video, so these are my spare ones. They probably don't look too bad, but if they're not actually mine, I borrowed them. So yeah, these should do the job. People have this thing about you can't wear sunglasses on a driving test. I don't know why people say that, but a lot of people have said that to me. Oh, I can't wear glasses, can I? Of course you can. Why not? You don't want to cheat on your test, but it is actually a way of cheating, because one little tip, and I admit I did this on my driving test about 15 years ago. If you're wearing sunglasses and they can't see your eyes, they can't really mark you down for not looking in the mirrors, because you could be going like that. I am looking in the middle mirror now, the right mirror now, left mirror now, but you can't see I'm doing it because of my sunglasses. So again, don't try and cheat. You should be able to drive, of course, but if you wear glasses, just give that a little bit of an edge if they can't see your eyes, but do look in the mirrors because it's very important. So we're going to get moving now. One of the most common mistakes, again, I should go over now, is everyone forgets the blind spot. I don't know why it is, but I'll give you more examples of this in a moment. Don't forget, you must do, the minimum is middle mirror, right blind spot. You must make sure your head turns. I always say to my pupils, your head should turn like an owl, so your head goes right round. What I'm about to do now, for Taddy's off again, does not count as checking the blind spot. If I go, that is not checking the blind spot, even with sunglasses on. If I just go, I'm not checking the blind spot, it must be like that. So let's get moving anyway. I'm just going to get driving. Throughout this video, I'm just going to get out of here first. See me doing the blind spot there again. Yeah, throughout this video, I'm not planning on anything going that wrong. So this will probably be a pass in terms of a driving test. Common mistake here, people don't give way. If I'd have gone through there, I've already failed. Because what a lot of people don't do wrong, so what a lot of people do wrong is they just come down here too fast. A car comes the other way, you're stuck head on. You've messed it up at the very beginning. You've only just started and already you've messed it all up. Sometimes people say in the first minute or two, you're given like a period of grace where they don't mark you down that bad in the first minute. It's not always true. I have known that where they've said, okay, it's the first few seconds you're a bit nervous, I'll let you off with that. But I wouldn't rely on that happening. So yeah, don't go hoping on that too much. So end of the road, I'm going to turn left. I'm going to talk as the examiner as well. So again, this car opposite from the garage is okay. So I'll do my mirrors, signal. Whenever you check your mirrors, you should check them generally in pairs, not always. I'm just going to wait till we get this junction. It's quite a busy junction here. Okay, so I'll get out of there. That's one mistake there. There's a lot of mistakes I can talk about, but one is people rush to get out. They think, oh, it's my test, I've got to go. You don't have to go. I'll talk more about that in a moment, but there's another one coming up. The examiners will give you a lot of help on the test that people miss. For example, now they'll say to you at the roundabout, go right, fourth exit. What they're saying to you is, get in the right lane. Now they can't say that because of course they'll be helping you, and they're not allowed to, we're not supposed to help you. But they give you so many clues and people miss these clues like mad. I'll give you more examples as we go around. But right on a roundabout, so mirrors, middle mirror, right mirror, checking them in pairs. Not going to indicate just yet because I don't need to. But yeah, loads of people miss all these hints that the examiner's given you. They might again now say, right at the roundabout, and the pupils are saying, okay, you've said that 3 times. They're trying to help you by saying, get in the correct lane. Now, I am in the correct lane now, but there have been times when someone's in the middle lane where that 4x4 is, and the examiner keeps saying, right on the roundabout, and the people saying, I know, you keep telling me that. They're trying to say, get in the right lane, they're trying to help you. They do give you loads of help, but it just flies over the heads of a lot of people, and they don't notice. Okay, so I'm going to keep well back from this car in front. It's quite busy actually for a Sunday. I'm doing this on a Sunday because I thought the roads might be a little bit quieter and I'd have more time to talk about things, but it's looking quite busy. Okay, so I'm rolling up. You might notice people in front of the van keep giving me funny looks because people think, why has this bloke got a camera stuck in his car, why is he talking to himself? But don't worry about that. If you see any people giving me funny looks, let me know in the comments below. So I'm creeping up. Can I go? Yep, go. No messing, get on with it. Another big mistake there. I'm just going to keep back from this car on the left, that 4x4, because I could go the wrong way. So now that gone around the wrong way. So I'm checking the mirrors, going around, next exit's ours. So that car kind of made a mistake, not the wrong way, but it's not the best way of doing that. But I didn't want to get next to them, because if you're next to them and they turn off, swipe, they've got you. If you're slightly behind them, you've got a bit of room for error. But yeah, so next part of the route, we're going to take the next road on the left, just after the bus stop. Again, the examiner is trying to help. They say next left, just after the bus stop. Loads of people don't listen to that, and they go flying past it, and then you've kind of messed it up because you've got to go down the road, turn around and come back. Not a big problem, but it can be a problem. See that car on the right there? I might have another video about that car coming quite soon. I might not, but I'll tell you more about that in that video. So now the examiner would say we're going to pull up on the left, just by the white house there on the left. So I'll do middle mirror, left mirror. I don't have to indicate because no one's around, but I will because I can't see too far down the road, and it's safer to do it if you're not sure. That man on the right probably won't care, but I'll signal anyway. So he's giving me some funny looks. He thinks, why is he talking to himself? So anyway, this is now what a lot of people get wrong here about the blind spot. And again, they don't do the blind spot. So the examiner says to you, can you move off when you're ready? And people go mirror, mirror, and they don't go like that. Again, remember the owl, be like an owl. Turn your head right round. You may notice, if you don't do that, that at this point the examiner puts a little on his marking sheet. I'm going to take the second road on the right. Some examiners won't mark you until the end. So another mistake people make is they think, oh, you know, I'm doing something wrong, you just marked me. You're not always marked immediately when you do something wrong. It depends on the examiner, but when I do mock tests, I tend to wait till the end and I put all the marks on in one go. Because I've got a system where I can remember lots and lots of different things, which I'll do a video about soon. But the way I remember things is quite funny. It's quite a good way of doing it. But yeah, so just as an example, this is what some examiners do. People of mine the other day on a mock test nearly didn't stop for someone crossing a traffic light system. Someone pressed the button and my people came up a little bit quick and I had to brake. Now, to remember that, what I remembered was the person that they nearly hit kind of lying on the floor, you know, or hanging over the edge of the traffic lights. Things like that help you to remember. So you think, what did that people do wrong? You think, well, I've got the pedestrian who's lying on the floor of the lights. I've got the left wheel's blown up because I hit that curb. You can use that system to memorise things, and that's what some examiners do. So don't, you've got to make up a story of these things that happen throughout the test. Don't think that you're doing something wrong just because the examiner puts a mark on his sheet. They do sometimes make notes of what you're doing as well. So for example, they might just put a circle around the manoeuvre that you did, because these examiners do about 7 tests a day. It's quite hard to remember 7 tests a day. You might think, well, you know, it's easy. They've only got to remember a few things. It's quite hard. So another mistake people make now is when the examiner is trying to give you a clue and people miss the clues. I had a girl once who was on a test and she got to the end, and every time she'd moved off she'd forgot to check her blind spot. And at this point the examiner was really trying to help, and he said to her, okay, he said, I want you to move off, but I want you to think carefully about what you normally do. And at this point he gave her a massive clue. He coughed and he looked in the blind spot. He went and he was trying to say to her, look in your blind spot, and she moved off again and didn't look. And he said to her, okay, he said, look, I'm going to give you one more chance. I've got a feeling something's not quite going right when you move off. And he coughed again and went, and he was trying to give every bit of help he could. Sorry, I got a cough. Tried to give every bit of help he could to say, look in your blind spot. But she didn't, and she failed for it. And if only she'd looked in a blind spot like that, she'd have passed. Not going to signal because no one's around. So yeah, the examiners give you massive clues. Here, for example, they'll say, at the end of the road, turn left. They're trying to stress the word end, at the end of the road, not yet, not before the cars. Not the best example there, but there are some roads around here where there are roads sort of there just before the end, and they're trying to say to you, you know, the end of the road, not here, the end. So the end of the road, right. So quite dodgy little bit, this, quite not so many cars there today. Normally loads of cars around there. So I'm creeping away, mirrors, signal, round I go, looking. You notice on the last bend I came out second. Not bad to do that if your car can handle it. That's the thing, people think you've always got to be in one to move off. You don't have to be. See if I can get out of here. Yep, okay, so we'll get out there and we'll carry on. So on the left, this person with the lights, there you go, the lights changed. If the people hadn't done that, then I would have imagined that woman in a nurse's outfit kind of lying on the floor, treating herself for being run over. So lights flashing, she's looking at something on the floor, she's dropped something. Checking my mirrors, off I go. Another common mistake there people make is thinking you can't go on flashing amber. You can, as long as the people are off the crossing. Nothing wrong with going on flashing amber. Roundabout ahead. Flashing amber, it's supposed to, any flashing amber means something could happen, like for example the person could cross on a zebra crossing. The reason you get the flashing Venetian beacons is like saying someone could be crossing. When I go further up the road now, if I do mirror signal right, my right signal is a flashing orange signal, so it's saying I could be going across the road. A lot of people don't realise those things, but it's flashing me, you see. No. It's a good example there why you should not go when someone flashes, because he was flashing them, not flashing me. So I'm going to go now, which is good. Again, a bit tight there, but not bad, because I'm an experienced driver, I can get out of the way. So yeah, not a problem. As long as you don't slow him down. He didn't mind, he didn't blast the horn, he wasn't affected, he didn't care. So I'm going to go this road on the right. I'm going to go down here to do a manoeuvre. The manoeuvre I'm going to do is a 3-point turn, or turn in the road. So I'm going to pull up on the left just over here. And the examiner would now say, can you please turn the car around to face the opposite direction using forward and reverse gears, trying not to touch the curbs as you do the manoeuvre. Some people get confused by that, but it just means do a 3-point turn. I don't know why they don't just say, can you turn the car around, yeah, do a turn in the road, but they don't, they always kind of word it in that way. So looking behind me now, I hope you can see on the camera there's a car coming down the road, and that's worked out really well. Things all seem to work out well for me on these videos, but if I'd have gone then, big fail. You cannot pull out and make someone slow down, in the same way that if I was the one driving down the road and someone made me slow down, it wouldn't be fair on me. So I'm checking around, there's some kids there, there's a car backing up, I'm going to wait because he could come up. Don't rush your driving test. Now, one of the biggest faults, which I'll get onto later on, is that people don't make enough progress and they go too slow. But having said don't go too slow, by the same kind of token in a way, don't go too fast, don't rush it. The biggest reason I'd say of all, and I'll do the manoeuvre as I talk about this, the biggest reason I'd say people fail driving tests is simply nerves. People get nervous, they mess it up, and yeah, that can go wrong. That worked out really well because that car appeared as I was doing the manoeuvre. You notice how I paused, I'm just going to pull over there, I paused but they couldn't get through, so then I went again. That worked out really well. I haven't paid these people to repeat, I promise you, it's just happening really well. You notice there I did the manoeuvre quite quick. I put my hand, crossed my hands a bit, doesn't matter, again, don't worry about that. If you want to see about that, you can watch my video called Myths of the Driving Test, where I talk about people get terrified about crossing their hands on the wheel. It doesn't matter. You notice when I went back as well, I don't know if you can tell from the video, but I'm being honest, I slightly bumped the curb, doesn't matter. The examiner will say try not to touch the curbs. If your tyre bumps it a little bit, it doesn't matter. You've got to take it all in context. Another thing you shouldn't do, and I know there's lots to remember here, but this is just as many faults as I can think of. People dry steer, which is when they steer with the car being still. Not the best thing to do because it puts a bit of pressure on your tyres and your steering mechanism and it can wear them down slightly. But if you've got a choice between dry steering or hitting the curb, which would do less damage? Obviously dry steering. So if you need to dry steer to get out of a situation like that, do it. You may, if you're unlucky, get 1 minor fault, it doesn't matter. People get so obsessed about, oh no, I must be moving when I'm turning the wheel. Don't worry about it. If you've done it for a good reason out there, I had to go back quite quick. Didn't smack the curb, I just kind of tapped it a bit. It might have been something in the curb. No, I don't know, but it's got to tap the curb a little bit, doesn't matter. You go back, it's done. A lot of people have this impression about the driving test being quite fake, and it's not. The driving test is done in a very realistic way. So tapping the curb a little bit, people think, oh no, I failed, I messed up. Don't worry about a little thing like tapping the curb like that. That isn't going to make a huge difference. So I'm going to carry on now, do my mirrors, blind spot again, no signal again because no one's really around, no one's going to care, there's no one coming down there, and off we go. So yeah, don't worry about being the perfect driver. End of the road will go right. That's the same car, isn't it? The one that just passed me. I don't know. It's quite a short journey they had if it was. I've got another video coming up about that soon, by the way. It's quite a funny one about people who take really short journeys. It's actually, part of it was filmed around here. But yeah, so I'm going to carry on driving now. Like I was saying, the point of the driving test is not to show you a perfect driver. You never stop learning to drive. I've been driving 15 years, I've been advanced for 10 years. You never stop learning. People who say, oh, I can do it all, it's easy, I'm perfect. They're the worst drivers because they think they're perfect and they're not. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, we all make mistakes. And yes, I'm an instructor and I do make mistakes, everyone does. I'm only human. Obviously I shouldn't make too many, but I do make them. So yeah, you don't have to show you're a perfect driver. You've got to show you're safe enough to be on your own, to carry on learning and to carry on practicing. This is a very dodgy junction, it takes a long time to get out of here. So I'm looking. Again, don't panic, you don't have to rush to get out. There's no chance of me going here, unless maybe this man on the bike presses the lights, but he won't. So, looking. I can go after this silver car on the right, there's not much on the left. Notice how much I'm looking, there is one flying from the left now, so I can't go now. Another good example there, watch this car flying past. Doing about 45 there in a 30 zone. So I'm looking, the white car ahead could affect me, but they're going to go the other way. Don't think they signalled, but they're going the other way because of their position, and off we go. If I hadn't have gone then, would have been a bit hesitant, because you look behind me now, there's still nothing there. This car here's the first one coming the other way. That was a good chance to go. So that black car shot out from the left, so I'm braking, defensive driving now, coming down to second. That learner could turn without signalling. Nope, so over I go. Yeah, so defensive driving there, I could have just put my foot down and said, well, that learner isn't going to turn, no one will come out from the left, I'm fine to go. That's a dangerous way of driving. You've got to be defensive, not aggressive. So like now, checking the mirrors, this bike, expecting the worst, coming down to second, roundabout ahead, second exit. I'm guessing he might go left to ahead. I think he's going to go left because he's kind of going out that way now, he's not going ahead. So I'll keep well back. Is he going left or not? I don't think so. So I'm keeping back, looking. Can I go? Yep, so off I go. Checking the mirrors, keeping to the left. Massive mistake here out there, not keeping to left. I can safely overtake the bike because there's nothing on my right. I can take advantage of that. A good example of making progress. If I hadn't have done that, I would have been going too slow, not making progress. So the car behind me is trying to drive straight through the back of me, he's that close. So Yeah, that's a good example of making progress safely, not zooming around the bike. It would have come up on the screen at the start of the video, but if you don't already know, the speed is shown on the left there. It says 28 at the moment. That green number on the left of the windscreen, that's my speed. So roundabout left, coming down, got a car ahead blocking, man's not going to walk off we go. Again, don't worry if you think all this sounds really fast and frantic. I'm having to talk quite fast because I'm talking through everything that I'm doing. A real driving test is a bit more relaxed than this. And again, if you want to see what a test is like, you can watch my other videos. At the moment, as I record this, I've done 2 with real pupils, and I've done I think 6 on my own, or 7 on my own, I think it is. There were 3 on the old camera, and there are 3 on the new. So I've done about 6 videos about me doing driving tests. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the car off for now. I'm going to lean over, reset the camera, and then we'll get going again. Okay, so I'm back, and we're going to get driving again. So again, mirrors. You might find on this one the left mirror shows you more than the right, because if I look in the right one I can only see the bend. If I look on the left I can actually round the bend. So you don't have to rigidly do middle, right blind spot. You can look anywhere you need to, look left, look right. The minimum is middle mirror, right blind spot. But I'm looking, there's nothing going on. I'll signal because it's quite a busy road normally. I can't see any on the round, but there could be someone around the bend. Nope, so off we go. If in doubt, give it a signal. Normally that works, just be careful you don't do it when anyone's coming up the road. Another classic mistake that people make is, imagine there's a car on the left here, there's normally a few cars, that car, that dark blue car. If that car's seen us right now, I'm going to brake and go, what's he doing? Is he going? Is he going? Yeah, no, what do I do? It's confusing, so don't signal if anyone's coming up behind you. This van, I'm going to keep right back, looks like a scrap of metal van. There are loads of these around here. They go around collecting old fridge freezers and whatever, and it's quite good money apparently for doing that. So I just kept back there, no point in pushing it through. I don't think it's stuck. And sometimes when I do these videos, the reason I pause when there are people coming towards me is I have had times in the past where, while I'm talking to the camera, people think I'm swearing at them or something, and they pull up and start shouting at me out the window. So sometimes I do pause, end of the road, right. Anyone crossing the road? Nope. Same as the other one we did a few minutes ago. Don't be in a rush to get out. So hand back on because there's no chance of me going for any time yet. This woman on the right could cross and help me out. I'm aware there's a car behind her, but I can't do much about that because I can't move. She is going to cross, I think. Yeah, that's good. So there are cars to the left, but I can go because they're slowing down for this woman crossing. As long as she's off the crossing, off I go. So next at the roundabout, we're going to turn left, first exit. This direction can be easily misunderstood, so if you're not sure, ask. You can check with the examiners, they don't mind you doing that. You could call it left to the roundabout because that's what it is. Some people call it second left. You'll see what I mean when we get to it. So if you look at it, it is on the roundabout, it is part of the roundabout. But people get this wrong because they think, oh, does it mean, the middle line where the van is? No, it's left down here. So this is part of the roundabout. I'm going to look, and off I go. So more mistakes coming up soon. I'm going to tell you a funny story now about this area. You might know this is Hawksley in South Birmingham. Now, it used to be a really run-down area, and about 10 years ago in 2003 the government announced this regeneration project, and they put £100 million, it was either 10 or 100, I think it was £100 million into this area. And do you remember that MP that was blind, David Blunkett, when he used to walk around with his guide dog? He came here on a visit and there was lots of police and helicopters all over protecting him. And I'll never forget something that happened. It's quite funny. I know in a way it's not funny, but if you've got a sense of humour, you know what I mean. They came to this area, and the first thing he said was, oh, this looks nice. And I thought, well, that's a bit funny because he's blind, he's saying he looks nice. I know it's not funny to be blind, but it just sounded a bit funny. And Anyway, they went up to this group of gang members, because there's always gangs around here, it's quite a big gang area. I actually taught one of the big gang leaders from around here, and he says to me, "Oh, you're safe if you come around here, don't worry, you're safe," because he passed his test with me. But anyway, yeah. They brought him round here, and he went up to these gang members, and he said to them, he wanted to know what they could do to help out, like how can we help get your jobs. You see all this generational, this work going on, new houses, new flats. And he went up to his gang member, and he was expecting him to say something like, you know, "Can you give us more jobs, more education or whatever?" And he said to this gang member, "How can we help you?" And the gang member said, "We need bigger knives and bigger guns." I just always remember that. It was so funny the way he said it. And I know it's not funny to have knives and guns, I know that. But the way he said it was just so funny. And he totally shocked this MP, didn't know what to say. I can't remember what his response was, but that was just hilarious. Anyway, you see on the left of those new houses. The reason I'm telling you that as well is examiners will talk to you like that during a test. They're probably not going to tell you stories like that, but they do chat sometimes. They're not all silent. Some of them are quite friendly. There's one in particular where I work, and you probably knows who he is if he's watching. He's always chatting and making people laugh, and it's really good because it puts people at ease. Anyway, back to driving lessons now. So I'm now going to do the independent part of the driving. I'm going to draw this diagram. This isn't the best diagram I know, but I'll draw it just showing you roughly what to expect. On the real test, you would have a properly drawn diagram, which I've got an example of somewhere here. I think it's in this one. You would be shown a diagram that looks like that. But yeah, this is just one I've kind of homemade. They're not to scale. So, you know, you just got to do whatever they say, but this is going to be end of the road right, first road on the left, roundabout ahead. So it will look something a bit like that. Now the mistake people make on this is they panic if they go the wrong way. It doesn't matter if you go the wrong way. If you forget the directions, ask. Don't, again, I've said this many times in videos, I know, but I'm just going to check a signal, can't see around the bends or signal. Don't sit there like a muppet thinking, "Oh, I'm lost, I don't know what he said." They don't mind repeating it. Some examiners are a bit grumpy and short-tempered, you get them everywhere, but you know, they don't mind saying it again, it's fine. Just ask them, they'll tell you. Don't sit there thinking, "Oh no, what did he say? I can't remember what he said." So, I'm just going to brake this car. So that car going far too quick with its illegal windows. Another mistake people make that if you buy a car, when you buy a car after passing your test or before, you must have a minimum of 70% of natural daylight must be able to come to the front and side windows. If not, like that car is, that's just asking to be pulled over. You'll get a heavy fine, possibly points on your licence. You must be able to see out the windscreen, surprisingly. I know I've got sunglasses on, that's totally different because I can take them off, whatever. If you have dark windows, then you can't see at night as well, and you're more likely to crash, and it's just stupid. Why would you want your windows blacked out anyway? I like to be able to see where I'm going. But anyway, that's probably one of those gang members I was talking about from that area. So I'm checking car and go, so handbrake goes on. Again, I've got to make progress, which I'm going to talk about now. Advancing, not some safe to go. You want at least 2 signals from a vehicle before you pull out. The signal itself must go on and they must slow down for you to be able to go. That's the safe way of doing it. So next direction was next left. So we'll go around this bend. What is there here to notice? National speed limit sign. If you miss that, some examiners will tell you because it's not very clear, it's kind of leaning back, someone hit him. You must make progress, let's get on with it. Don't hold back. I'm not going too fast, I'm aware it's a Sunday. There could be horses around, more chance of that cyclists. So I'm not going to, see I'm doing 44ish in the windscreen there. I'm not going to go flat out, but I'm making progress. I'm going to get on with it, there's no one around, no one behind. I can't see ahead, so I'm slowing down. When I can see ahead, foot down, go. You must make progress, do not go too slow. Don't go flying when the conditions aren't suitable. Don't just go flat out, you don't have to. But you must drive according to the conditions. So many people don't. I've had so many learners nowadays to go to 5th. They're struggling, the cars bang, bang, bang. Go to 4, bang, 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 bang. Your foot's down, you've lost it, your momentum's gone. So I'm going to get it back now. That is a major problem. You will fail a test on that. Because if anyone had been behind me then, I would have been slowing it right down, and it's dangerous. And of course I made sure there was no one behind me before I did it. So I'm going ahead now. What was the next direction on the independent driving, can you remember? Well, I'll leave you for a little bit. If you can't remember, just have a think what it was. I'm just going to drive for a little bit down this road. Notice all the muck on the floor, the horse muck on the floor, or whatever, hay, all that kind of stuff. So there could be horses down here. Down to 30, checking my mirrors, coming down to 30. Done. So the next direction was at the roundabout. We're going to follow the road ahead. You notice the roundabout is quite some way. You haven't missed it, it's just quite a way down the road. This car behind my overtake now because people often speed down here. People don't understand why it's a 30 zone. There's a lot of reasons. One reason is because about 12 years ago now, there's a paperboy doing a round down this road. It used to be national. Someone came around the corner and killed him because they were going, he was a national speeder, but they were going too fast for the conditions. You notice that sign on left is leaning over. You can't see maybe on the video, but to the left and the right, there's a massive ditch. This road is actually subsiding quite badly. With vehicles travelling too quickly on it, it makes the road collapse quicker, especially heavy vehicles. So there's always a reason why it's 30, and the person behind might be annoyed, well tough, it's a 30 limit, so I'm going to do 30 at the most. That's the difference between making progress and being aggressive and just flying down the road for no reason. I've got a good reason not to be doing 40 because it's 30 zone, but now he's going up to 40, checking my mirrors, that car's gone. He wasn't too bad, he wasn't that angry, that person, but some people get quite aggressive there. Many years ago I saw a car come off the road here, and it was this girl got out and she was punching her boyfriend in the face because he'd slipped off the road on the ice. I didn't have my camera at that time, unfortunately, but he slid off the road. It weren't hurt, but he was a bit embarrassed, I think, and I think it was her car because it was pink, and I can't imagine him having a pink car, and she was, she wasn't too pleased about that. So roundabout ahead. Another common mistake, people slow down too much, they don't make progress. I'm looking, no one around, the building on the right shuts down, nothing probably come out there, no checking, going, off I go, no messing about, I'm not holding back, I'm not slowing down, getting up the speed, done. We're going to take the next main road on the right, not the car park, and again the examiner's helping saying not the car park. So many people don't listen to these clues and they go down that road. Listen to what the examiner is saying. There are massive clues in what they tell you. How many times have I had this on driving tests where people get to this stage, let's go over this van, and the examiner quite clearly says now, pull up on the left, just past where it says 30 on the floor. And people don't listen and they go on and on and on and on, and they go right down the road, and then they go and pull up on a bend and they fail for it. And the examiner says at the end, why didn't you just pull up where I asked you to? They're trying to help you. They don't want you to pass, they don't want you to fail, they're kind of neutral. But listen to what they say. There are so many clues in what they say, and people just miss them all. Okay, so next part of independent driving. Before this, I'm just going to reset this camera because then that should see me through to the end. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I'm back. Let's turn on again. Let's go for the last part of independent driving. So it's going to be end of the road, right, first road on the left, follow signs for Birmingham. So I'm looking around. Again, I'll signal because there's a few cars ahead. And off I go. So yeah, end of the road, right, first road on the left, and then follow signs for Birmingham. One way you can help to remember that, just going back to that system I was talking about earlier on, same sort of thing. You can remember like words. For example, I remember ER, as in like, like a hospital or that program on the TV. So end of the road right is ER. First left is well, you can realise like 1L, like 1 litre. Imagine you got a 1 litre car. So I'm imagining now that I'm going to hospital in a 1 litre car. It sounds stupid, but it's a good way of doing it. So I think, why am I going to hospital? Because it's end of the road right. So ER, hospital, end of the road right. When I've done that, I'm going to speed up a little bit again, making progress, not delaying, not crawling. If I don't speed up there, looks like I haven't seen the sign, could fail for that. So I'm going to go right here, slowing down, looking, bad road because it's a 60, so I'm being careful. Now I've come out of there, I'm thinking, right, 1 litre, why did I remember 1 litre? Because it's 1L, first road on the left. So I'm now driving, imagine a 1 litre car, and it reminds me to start the first left. And that's just a technique that I use very often in my whole life for many different things. To remember things to say, things to do, birthdays, whatever, you can use that technique. So I'm going to keep quiet now. I'm just going to drive as though it was a real test, just for a little bit. Example of a mistake here though, where I've deliberately left in 5th. You notice what's happening? I can't speed up, so when I come down to 4th, get a bit more speed. If you know something's wrong, do something about it. It's like anything in life, if you haven't paid your mortgage, go and pay it before they come and kick you out. Don't sit there like a muppet thinking, oh well, the gear's wrong, it's bang, 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 bang. Because at the end the examiner could fail you for that, and you say, well, I knew the gear was wrong, so why didn't you change it then? So yeah, if you know it's wrong, do something about it. What's bad about this corner, can you spot it? Really bad view, so I'm going to slow right down. Could be horses down here on a Sunday especially, crawling around, car there, off we go. What's coming up now, a lot of people miss. National speed sign, so again, making progress, don't go too slow. Number one thing people fail to test on is undue hesitation, not driving at the appropriate speed. A good thing to understand, and this is for instructors as well as learners, when you talk about undue hesitation, a lot of people think it means going too slow. It doesn't just mean that. Undue hesitation can be going too fast, because one of the most common reasons for going too slow is that people drive too fast, then they've got to brake, then they've got to look left, right, and when you were looking left and right, if you'd have approached it slower, you could have been accelerated away. So because you go too fast, that causes you to then have to go too slow, because you've had to brake a lot to slow down. So yeah, that's a common thing that's commonly misunderstood by a lot of instructors and learners alike. So the last direction was follow signs for Birmingham. Haven't been any yet, but there will be soon. You might recognise this video from the one I did about the flood. There's a link on the screen now probably. I drove this road once, almost a year ago now, actually to the day almost, and this road just flooded and we almost got stuck in it, but we got through. So signs for Birmingham, white signs give information, so that's telling me next left Birmingham. There's also a green sign. What do green signs mean? Yep, A roads, so it's the A435, which will help me in a moment. Common mistake here, people don't get on with it again. Loads of times there's a man in the road. That's a good hazard, that was great. A lot of times when people don't get on with it, horse droppings on the floor, could be horses here as well. But you notice how I didn't go flying around the bend. I was accelerating, but I knew that, well, I could see that man was there. I didn't know how to even brake, I just come off the gas, no one was behind me, no problem. But now I'm getting on with it, going, join on the single white line, not the double line, wait for the single line. Use the slip road to its full effect. Gently go out, very gently, hardly even turn the wheel, get right up 70, checking the mirrors, can I move? There's a van flying up, could move, left that's available, which is the left lane in this instance. Looking ahead, making progress down to third. There's no one around on the right there. No need to stop to slow down. Hugging the left lane, massive mistake people make there. They don't hug the left lane. And when I go, signal, accelerating away. Job done, that's it. So yeah, that's a good way of doing it. I can pick up to third, fifth. I'll let the van try and get around because it's a bit stuck. Now I think that's a little bit because I'm going to try and let the van in. Perfect example there where that van did not need to do that. There was absolutely no point in him overtaking there. He'd been flying down the road from way back when I came off the slip road. There was no point in doing that. I had people fail for doing that just about 2 or 3 days ago. Overtaking was good, but then they had to cut back in. No point in cutting back in. So I held back there, helped the van out. If I hadn't have done that, that van would have probably hit me almost because he was coming in too quick, too soon. So yeah, I held back a little bit. Again, driving is about being defensive, don't be aggressive, there's no point in doing that. If you're an aggressive driver, you're only going to end up crashing, there's no point. So we're almost at the end of the test now, and that's the end of independent driving. So on the roundabout I'm going to go right, third exit towards Solihull. So that van again just swerved out, he's not planning at all. You got right up behind that car, swerved out, the other car's done it as well. People don't plan ahead. Notice the gap I've got ahead. Notice I'm planning when that gap gets less than 2 seconds. I'm moving out. I'm not doing what the van did, which is last minute swerve, react. Reactive driving is rubbish. So yeah, don't do that. So the roundabout right, third exit to Solihull. And I'm not a hypocrite by the way, because I was a van driver for 3 years. I was a delivery driver for 3 years. I never once broke the speed limit to make deliveries, because you don't have to. If you drive properly, you don't have to. So what's the van doing wrong now? He's in the right lane, not signalling right. He's not a very good driver. It's a good example of how not to drive. So I'm rolling up to the roundabout, coming down to 1, check in, go in again, keeping back from this car on left. He could get the wrong lane, the van could pull out. This car on left's been hesitant, so I'm going to go. I think he's going the other way. Checking the mirrors. So our car behind didn't go the other way, he went that way. So our car behind, I don't know if you can see from the video, he's got a massive smash in the right side of his car, which is probably because he drives like that, because he went right from the middle lane, which you can't do. But notice again, I was ready for that. I didn't aggressively force him out of the way. He was hovering a bit, so I put my foot down, I got out of the way. If I hadn't done that, I probably would have got hit there. You know, he looks like he's a bit of a new driver, not too sure what he's doing there. And that goes back to what I said earlier on, about you never stop learning to drive. So the person there nearly walked out that looking, did look, but people on phones be careful of them not paying attention. So next road on the left, and then I get back, and that will be the end of the test. So this video has been more about mistakes on the driving test rather than purely, you know, just the test itself and the routes. But that is a real test route. 2 bit parts are changed. I'm not going to say where they were, but I did change them a little bit. And I'm going to pull up on the right here in a bit. I'll do it here. Actually, I'll do it further on. I'll carry on a bit. And I'll pull up on the left in these bays. Mirror signal. They'll often want you to park in the furthest bay up, just to warn you. They won't let you park here, you've got to park here, because if other learners come back, they want to have, you know, a nice clear room for them. So I'll turn off, and that's the end of the test. So I hope that video helps you, with some of the common mistakes people make on driving tests. As ever, if you want to get in touch, you can email me through tests@firstdrive.com. If you want to come and do a video with me, then you can come and visit me in Birmingham. We'll do a video. It's free of charge for the hour or 2 or whatever we take doing it. It's good fun if you want to come and make a video. Check out my website, firstdrive.com. there's pages, like I say, pages and pages of information on there about driving test tips and tips on how to choose a good instructor. The final thought I'll leave you with is one of the most common reasons people fail driving tests is because they've actually got a bad driving instructor. I've taken on loads of pupils over the years who have failed tests, and it's unbelievable that the standard that some people teach to, and I think, no wonder you failed, you didn't have a chance. So it's not always the instructor's fault, not all of us are bad. But yeah, if you failed your test 2 or 3 times, it doesn't mean your instructor's no good. But what I recommend is if you fail 2 or 3 times, maybe consider just going to another school to get a second opinion. But it does happen to me. My pupils have failed 3 or 4 times, 5, 6 times, and there's nothing wrong, it's just to get nervous on the day. But yeah, there's information on my website about how to choose a good instructor, about the grades. Grades are quite important for instructors, it shows you how good they are. A lot of people know about fully qualified and trainee instructors, not so many know about the grades. There are different grades, 1 to 6. I'm a grade 5. I got my grade 5 over a year ago now, so with the practice I've done, I'm pretty sure I'll get a grade 6 if I took a test today. But you can only take them every 4 or 5 years, so I've got another 3 or 4 years of waiting yet before I can do it. They are changing the system now, by the way. It's not going to be a number now, 1 to 6. I think they're going to do it. It's like 6 is going to be called excellent, and 5 would be very good, 4 would be good, 3 would be substandard or something, I don't know, but they're changing the system over. But that's another tip: if you're picking an instructor, ask them what grade they are. I recommend go for grade 5 or 6. After all, if you want to be the best, you've got to learn from the best. So yeah, get in touch with me. You could leave a comment on YouTube below. If you like the video, please like it and please subscribe. It does help the video to get more popular. Yeah, so that's all good. So that's it really, that's all for today. I'm going to go back home now. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you again soon.